Good morning. By chance, it started again. Good morning, everybody. This is Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, April 26, 2021, Monday. And talk is about quality, civil engineering. This is title is Civil Field Engineering, Designs, Construction Methods, Contracts, AnnexSL Organizations, Communications, Coordination, Quantity, Quantity and Quality. All are involved in this professional talk because it's important to comprehend everything, and that's what I'm doing. That's fine if you look at this. Again, before starting talk, I would like to refer to general misfortune of world as well as our country. Our country, Bharat, India, has been facing acutely COVID-19 attack. COVID-19, which has overruled this world and still overruling. People call these countries call we have defeated it, but that's only imagination. Nobody can defeat it. We have to face it, and we don't know our enemy. I may call it enemy, but not necessarily that it's our enemy. Maybe it's our teacher. I consider COVID-19 teacher because it's teaching whole about regularity, sincerity, how to live in society, how to change scenarios, and whole world has changed. Doubts have been created, but COVID is working very sincerely, regularly. I should appreciate its work. Though it's against humanity, but yet humanity has to learn. World is not property of anybody, but it's telling that it's property of God, and this God-sent disease, I can say. COVID-19 is creating records in our country, Bharat, India. Every day about 3.5 lakhs yesterday, and maybe possibly today more. And various agents are telling us going to increase soon, maybe up to 500,000 per day, and then maybe up to 800,000 per day. It may be, let us see what will happen in future, but it's very true that times are not pleasing, times are not happy. To an extent we consider COVID-19 because COVID-19 has been progressively, successfully spreading its wings in our country of 130 crores people, 1300 million people, and it started impacting, and it's been seeing that about 20% of those being tested showing symptoms, showing positivity of COVID-19, which is very worrisome because in January it was 1.89%, now it's crossed 20 or more. This official figure, unofficial figure may be different. This may be 30%. Let's take case of, suppose if I apply 20% to all population, which will be about 26 crores. 26 crores means 260 million people are affected, possibly. Can't say until whole survey is done because testing is very limited. It's very slow. More than in about 13 months or 12 to 13 months, we have tested only around 21% people, which is too inefficient speed. We can't test our population in more than a year. This means we are sleeping society, as I used to say. We are not serious. We are sleeping people. Of course, when people are sleeping, government must be sleeping. And our situation is very critical for those who are admitted in hospitals, who are undergoing treatment. I can't say treatment, just protective measures they are taking. Public is not very serious. Oxygen is not available adequately. Beds are not available adequately in hospitals. And of course, we may say other nations too are worried. America is worried, England is worried, Europe is worried, France is worried, Far East is worried, because property of, or you can say characteristic of COVID-19 is if even one country or one society suffers from this, it can't be eradicated from world. We have to take it very seriously. It's very important that we have to take measures, precautionary measures. People must use masks and goggles or spectacles. People must keep distance from others. People must not go to gatherings like marriages, like birthday parties, like other functions in society, like religious affairs. People must keep them off so that you can at least take preventive measures. If not, otherwise we can't treat this. We can't recover from this COVID-19. We can't treat ourselves. That's also true. Maybe they speak that we are recovering, we are doing this, we are doing that. It's all fake, all false, because we don't even know release root of this cause. So there's no question of treatment. Vaccination is very important to raise immunity, and it's not very fast also. Till now only about 10% people in our country have been vaccinated, and that's also 8% for first one, and maybe 2% for second one. I have to take care of this. I really publish reports on Facebook and media. People may see me not because I'm a big person. I'm not a very high profile. I'm not eminent. I'm not celebrities. Maybe a few people only see me, consider as a rubbish person, useless, not in public. But question is not how many people see. Question is it's available. You can see Excel file and other files. I try to take information from government sites, whatever information daily they publish, and use that for personal analysis. And more than 200 days have elapsed. I use those statistics for purpose of my analysis. You may least like to see that. It's available on script.com and also on Facebook. You can see if you are tested to see that has increased. The curves are going high, all curves, cases curves and affected curves and death curves, and all curves are going up. It's a very serious issue. Engineers must take responsibility of understanding this and disseminating society, because if people start dying, I understand coming 20 months are very critical for this. According to numbers of our country, which is 70 15th August, 47 15th April 47, that total 70. And we must have a good society, but without a soft society, we are having dishonest people all over our country. We are having all robbers in our country, liars in our country. So we must be very aware. So title of this talk, as I told, is about professional engineering, about civil field engineering, about construction, about designs, about everything. Whatever knowledge, and this is also part of life, because without health we can't live. Health is wealth, and health is first preference. SHE, we call HSE, health, safety and environment, economics. If health is not good, people are not happy, workers are not healthy. If 20% people in any country are subject to this disease, I think it's a big one. 20% is not a small amount. Used to say hardly 1%, 2% is okay, but if 20% people are impacted upon by COVID-19 attack, it's a big question mark. It may reach to 30% later on, and if what others forecast, every day may get 500,000 people positive or 800,000 people positive or more. I can't say. It's going to be big problem, big exposure of failure of our country without the infrastructure that should be. How to handle 800,000 people per day if they are positive or more, maybe 18,000, you can say 18 lakhs people if you have to handle every day. There's no such facility available in infrastructure available in medical world, and it shall be very, you can say, kind of a kind of parallel, you may say, parallel, and everything is destructive. This parallel of humanity in this country, all over the world, humans are being destructed rather than lithosphere. So God says, I don't want to damage my property. You are also my property, but you don't listen to me. This is God contention, I think. God says, you don't listen to me, and that's why I'm not happy with you. I want to break you as much as possible. And see, the beauty of situation is impacting all those who are in upper classes as well as who are in middle classes. Of course, the lower profile, but middle class is very much prone to this, because middle class is very much luxurious. They want to take all facilities. They want to go to sun to have bath. They don't want to subject to weather exposure. So that is another point of view. I shouldn't talk length about the COVID-19 because reports are available. You can see my issue is not to worry you, but to just disseminate information that done on an analysis basis. It's going on higher curve, higher path of curve. So you have to take care of this. So I can say just take precautionary measures. You are engineers and others. I've not seen engineers very serious about this issue. They're all busy in seminars, they are in the conferences, they are in the awards, they are busy in their technical course, they are busy in questions. I've not seen even 5 or 6 engineers from all over the world to take very serious about this. That's a very worrying issue. Engineers who are responsible for the development of society should understand if society is under health impact, how can it develop? There will be no funds, there will be no considerations as such, and they have to suffer. So if they want to suffer, let them suffer. I can't say that, but they have to do their duty emergency. Health understanding is duty. They have to take into considerations precautionary measures for their families, for themselves, and society. Now coming back to our daily talk about professional, I would still like to say something here that which we consider very important is quality. And quality, I can say quality, I say quality systems, quality individuals, designs, and all that. We have come on to this level. Quality plus, it was there also this one. Quality plus, it is science, construction plus. What is that one has gone? I don't know where it's gone. There's something else also. You see, is that? Right, maybe there's another one. I don't know which one. Just a minute, please. I'm not saying this is quality. Yeah, I'm just trying to come back, please. Hold on, please. Some file is missing. I'm trying to solve it. Some file is missing somewhere. I'm trying to solve it. Hold on, please. No problem. Just a minute. Let me see if I can do that. Where it's gone? I'm surprised where it's gone actually. So there's some problem in this file. I opened it now. It's okay, fine. So okay, now I can say that this was file yesterday I amended. Is quality everywhere, systems quality, individual quality, elements quality, etc. This is everywhere. This is what I was asking, I was talking of, and by chance I missed that one. So it's that file, quality everywhere, systems quality plus individual quality plus element quality plus others, designs, all designs, construction, and you can say method statement, construction regarding design sources, construction is all activities, method statements express detailed format for performance, time unchangeable, cost invariable, escalation, risks must be foreseen, reliability must be achieved, and reliability of safety plus serviceability plus durability plus other knowledge area factors, analysis, a must, all problems to be understood, synthesis, all solutions network must reach compatibility thinking and only way contemplation and must be achieved, application must be affected, and that's what it's about. This is some amendment to my previous file, and what can I say, quality I've seen a different scenario here. Let me close this now. Fellow certificate unnecessarily, I close it, and let me go to another certificate, chartered engineer as well. I close it, hello not required, and then this file which is plants file and role of site engineers. Role of site engineer is a very important one. I was talking at length study to a system etc. And we went to concrete etc. In this we talked of this one, this role here you can say. Let me go to this, as I discussed about this yesterday at length. It's not taken care of again. Now points of relation on site. This we did yesterday at length, and I think all of this. So we talked about trusted bars, bent bars. The trusted bars are not accepted, should not be accepted. Bent bars from factory should not be accepted. That I talked about yesterday. Generally bar length is a standard one. We should take straight bars only. We should not take for structural or bent bars. Yes, for flooring, for some other reasons which are not structural one. Structural framing cannot be accepted in bent bars. Rusted bars are not at all acceptable. And if somebody doesn't bother about this, well, I have no answer to that. Rusted and bent bars are delivered to site, which is not acceptable. We must have straight lengths without rust. Rebars are placed on ground soil, which is not acceptable. Not good, not on good wooden basis. And as supports, it should be raised. These bar stacks should be raised above ground, and it's not allowed to touch soil or water, or should not be susceptible to moisture ingress. Now, without covering in polythene sheet, should not store them. People laugh at this, but that's fact of life. I still remember my case. When I asked still fix, you have to protect it from moisture. He says, I don't know what you mean. I said, you have to cover that, and he was laughing. It never happens in this country, so no, you have to do it. I'll bring polythene, you have to cover it every day. You have to cover what steel is available in ground. You have to cover what steel is already placed in. And he said, I can't do that. If I told you can't do that, then I can't give job. Finish. I left him. I did myself later on. So rebars are placed in ground soil, not good wooden or other supports, without covering with polythene sheets. Precaution should be resorted to for good handling and storage. Now, fabricated rebars not properly sorted, tagged and stored in shadow under protection from moisture contact. Right tracking should be maintained by designations of relevant elements. Dowels may be forgotten somewhere in places at various joint connections, in fast work, or by negligence, or by whatever reason. And chemical anchors should be used for forgotten dowels. Do not chip concrete to insert whatever it is. Then you can say insert amendments of services at various locations. These may be missed. And only approved drawing should be used. Don't work without approved drawings. This doesn't happen here. Nobody bothers about this. But that's very important because we make mistakes. Correction is very expensive. Blockouts for various services should not be missed, and that's what I say. Don't work without shop drawing or coordinated drawing. Now, sometimes due to site negligence, certain concrete elements may be missed by overlooking. Structural drawing should be deeply coordinated with architectural drawings. Generally, facet dowels are forgotten. Many lintels are also overlooked. Opening or bulging of forms at 1/3 of height from pouring base is a common occurrence. Location requires strong resultant support. It should be taken care of while considering concreting plan. Chipping should be avoided if feasible by providing strong supports. Honeycombing on surface is a common occurrence. We have to apply vibrator professionally, traditionally, and person who applies vibrator must be trained. Temperatures are very important, which will be taken consideration of all time. In general, people don't value, we don't care for temperatures, but 5 to 32 degrees Celsius is normal temperature is used for concrete. And it's about 35. We have to take care how to handle this, how to keep temperature within limits. We have to either add ice or take a measure. Ice is best if we add to concrete to keep it cool. Mercury is about 32 minutes of problem. Thick elements it may be which are more significant, which should be within 24 degrees Celsius. Thick elements, when I call thick elements means minimum size of member is 800 mm or above, and 8 cubic meter quantity of concrete in that member is called thick member. 24 degrees Celsius is limit, not above that. This means we have to use low heat generating concrete for that purpose. Voids are not acceptable. We have to take care of voids in all respects. It's not easy. You have to chip out, take all loose concrete out from voids, and we have to reach hard surface in concrete, apply bonding agents and whatever method is applicable. You have to fill in concrete again by using a letterbox or something, whatever agreed between you or between site people and those who are supervising. That method should be taken off. And exposition of rebars is very common surface, which is nothing but called nonsense. Those people don't use covers or don't care about this. The steel is visible on surface, which is very bad practice, and covers a must. Cover spaces are must, concrete spaces are must, which should be taken care of. If we don't take, there's no solution to that. Congestion of steel should be avoided in every way because it obstructs works, and if you site engineer thinks that there's a problem going to cause a problem in this element, then you should contact structural designer to set problem right. And we can say rebars are often displaced by electrical conduits, so there should be some person, an electrician available on site while working on steel. Do not overlap higher size bars, though it's not illegal, it's not against technology, but it's better if you use mechanical connectors for diameter bars 20 mm and above. The reason is that it's better controlled. Overlaps can't be controlled. It's very difficult to tie very strongly higher diameter bar with length 50D. Say it is 20 mm bar means 1 meter. It's 25 mm bars maybe 125 centimeter. It's difficult to tie them intact till concrete is done. So what we should do, we should use mechanical connectors, and mechanical connector when you use must take a sample to laboratory for making sure that tension resistance is available in that connection. Tensile stress is available. That's most important. I don't think there are certain machines in our country available in general to test 20 mm bar, 25 mm bar, 32 mm bar like that. So that's the big question mark. So it's not simply that You connect by anything and you connect by something and say, okay, it's done. No. Test is a must. Tensile test. Hardened concrete as bad practice. Cut for passing some small air conditioning. That's not acceptable. There should be no such case. That's why I say use coordinated drying for this purpose. When drying is coordinated, all disciplines are coordinated in that electrical, HVAC, etc. etc. We can say excessive slump is not reported truly and no information should be concealed. Why to conceal? Slump should be tried to be brought down by keeping truck mixer rotating. It's not feasible, rejected. During concreting or due to delay, additional water is secretly added, which is not acceptable at all. If some make such mistake, then take cube of that one. It's not actually accepted in structural concrete at all. You can't add any water in. Other than that was added at mixing plant. Stop ends is a must. You should keep ready stop ends all time. And if so small, means anything can have, whatever happens, concrete can, mixer can break down, vibrator can break down. There can be anything else. Suddenly stop concrete. So must be ready with stop end. It's prefabricated for deep stop ends. For example, massive block you're doing, you have to. It takes time to produce or the fabricate stop end. But for smaller thickness concretes, it's not a big deal. You can immediately do it. Construction joints not correctly fixed, so location should either be agreed or if it's emergently required, it can be immediately decided. Construction joint is not correctly hacked or scabbled before new concrete is laid. Don't be in panic. Do it properly. Chip out, scabble out past old surface and do it proper way. Remove all latents and then proceed for laying concrete or new work subject to your specifications. Means there's a limit always. How many hours must have elapsed before doing new concrete, and that must be coordinated and its approval must be taken. If you are a contractor person, if you are a supervisor, you have to make sure that enough time is over. Standby vibrator is not available. It's a bad practice. It's very important to have additional vibrator to meet working requirement. When busy vibrator fails, vibrator should be checked for working before commencement of pores and must be clearly cleaned after work is over. Curing is not started in time. Curing is not continued to requirement. Hot weather requires immediate curing, particularly on exposed or unformed surfaces. Can't be done by spraying curing compound. Even polythene sheet can also be spread on concrete surface. Curing should be effectively carried out to define its duration by personal attention of site engineer. Curing is not If curing is not completed for required period, do not ignore curing because there is no solution. There is no reinstatement of curing. If curing is lost, concrete is lost. Ignorance can cause a major problem and non-conformance report can't be closed. It's a very big issue. As no solution if no curing is done, you can't close this. And easy to pour concrete, but extremely expensive to dismantle and rebuild. It is cost issue, it's time issue, it's quality issue, it's issue everywhere. Incorrect cut bars are forced to be placed in and usually bent. Prepare bent prepare good BBS. Don't be in a hurry. BBS is very easy. You can formalize on Excel your formula according to shape code, and cutting length can be obtained. And once cutting length is obtained, it's not a big deal. BBS can be produced on Excel sheet duly using required formula. Cutting length should be shown with shape code. It may be 4466 old one BS or 8866 or your own customized one. Strips are not rightly centered. Do not fix. Do proper fixing. Rebars are not centered. Do proper fixing. Now supporting chairs for rebars not rightly cut and fixed. Check before fabrication all required dimensions. Do not depend on steel fixers alone or confidently. Rebar fixing is complex activity. make sure that it's carried out correctly. Rebars not well secured, bind bars properly without worrying about quantity of binding wire cost. Check fixing arrangements over all joints. Tie bolts are not tightened properly. Use or fastened properly, you can say. Tie bolts are not fastened properly. Use correct dimension tie bolts and fix properly as required. Plumb is not inspected to standards. It's difficult exercise to inspect dimensions, locations and verticality, but should be conducted particularly for elements to where equipment or where facet is involved. Extra previous concrete is not chipped out. Site should be kept tidy all the time in all respects. Chip all surplus required concrete by hard brush or by whatever tools convenient without disturbing concrete. Sometimes we don't keep holes for cleaning out dust from foams. It's practically required to dust out preparatory work. Use compressors to clean out preparatory works. Flash setting is not prevented, which is very important because flash setting, many times I explained, it is temperature in weather means steel become hot and surface of foam shall become hot if it's particularly steel material. What happens that concrete is low temperature 32 degrees and steel may be 45 degrees or 50 degrees. There's a lot difference 32 and 45, and if you pour concrete on that hot steel surface of reinforcement or surface of formwork, it sets with differential temperatures 32 and 45, and that causes flash setting. To avoid that, because this is not acceptable at all, to avoid that, it's better to cool the surfaces before pouring. Use hose pipe and water all areas so that temperature of surface is maintained low and we can pour concrete comfortably. We can't do in hot as flash setting happens. Now cold joints is another point. Cold joints are wrongly allowed. Sequence should be made as such. The concrete repetition is done fast in hot conditions and cold joints are not allowed to be formed. Concrete is collected at one spot for longer than required. Do not pull up concrete at one location on slab particularly. It's dangerous for preparatory works and scaffolding. Pulling is not recommended. Don't hold concrete in one place like a mount. It can cause accident. And also immediately use your concrete spreader. If you use whatever method, try to reduce load on platform, or you can say on formwork. Workers add additional water to soften concrete due to delayed following pour. Do not allow such additions of water. It's not accepted. Remedial actions on defects are cared by site staff without even informing site engineer. Keep an eye on foreman, supervisor and other persons who are responsible for this kind of bad habit. Do not repair concrete or surface. Do not repair defects until these are approved according to procedures. Formwork is stuck before defined time limit. Record dates in concrete register for all pours. Record all test results. Record all curing dates. you must have complete details for purpose of quality assurance. Concrete blocks are shifted from factory to site within 3 days, sometimes due to lack of space in factory, but this is not acceptable. Curing must be done, it must be allowed. But cure at site if it's not done in factory. Cure blocks prior to being tested and permanently included. If you take to laboratory without curing, they shall fail. You don't have to take sample of 12 blocks for every type of block. We have to take 12 pieces of block to laboratory and they test it. And that's not the strength test of concrete, but it's test of block strength. You must be knowing that. If it's a hollow block and this is 7 Newton or 9 Newton, we simply say the 7 Newton block or 9 Newton block. This doesn't mean this is concrete grade. You have to be clear about that. If hollow block is tested, means projected area of hollow block, say it's 400 by 200. Hollow block area is 400 by 200, it means 80,000 square mm. And if you say it's 7 Newton, so 80,000 into 7 Newton, that is strength, load the block can take. That's what it is. It's not concrete grade generally. This grade is doubled. You can say if 7 Newton, you may say it's 14 or 15 Newton concrete. If it's 9 Newton, 18 Newton concrete, it could be approximately in case of hollow blocks. These cavities are generally 50% of blocks or area. And with solid block, it's okay, fine. You may say, you may convert that block strength to grade, no problem. And solid blocks are generally used in foundations in soil. Hollow blocks are used in upper areas above ground. No hollow block can be used below ground. If hollow block is used in above ground and some may be filled with concrete, some portion where steel is coming in, if you reinforce it, or near or in jams can't be hollow, and you can say some other areas can't be hollow. We have to see what your specifications mandate. Now, class 1 bricks are not procured or even not available. Procure good bricks or blocks. Avoid using weak bricks, class 1 bricks. If you don't have, you either manufacture specific brick from standard factory or don't use bricks, otherwise use blocks, because ultimately brick also contain clay, and that is, of course, I think we should not use. Wooden planks are used for formwork with leaking joints, because nobody works with planer on edges. So wooden planks which are unplanned are used for formwork with leaking joints. Better suggested to use ply for good results. Ply is best because ply can be used for major work. Commercial ply is not used, but waterproof so-called marine ply is used. 18 mm generally is used. It can be used 4 times, 5 times, and that repetition is economical. If work is big, we can use cuplog for supporting system. We can use props for columns, and we can use according to site requirement. Form work is very important. People hire planks and use for slab, but don't take care that slurry is leaked out. Concrete quality is impacted upon. Wooden planks are used for formwork which is not accepted. Better suggested to use ply, and ply can give better finish. And maybe if you increase cover of ply, cover of concrete, say by 1 centimeter or half centimeter, you may not even require plastering or rendering on that. Formwork is not correctly labeled. Set out formwork properly. Check all lines and labels truly. Grafting for structural steel bases that are generally RCC foundations. All structural steel is founded on RCC pads or foundations, which requires good control, as it is cement based material. Similarly, grouting for under anchorage plates requires good control. Do not go ahead for any work where doubts exist, either in specifications which is not understood properly, or a problem of understanding exists due to language of specification, of phrasing, or in designs. Then you obtain clarification and clarified answer in form of site technical queries before carrying out ambiguous items. It is emphasized that these points should be considered in true spirit, carrying out better work on controls. Definitely produce a good concrete work that would serve to required and desired durability for whole structure on buildings. Patience pays on site. Panic harms works. Must plan properly all day-to-day activities. Progress is required, but not at quality cost. Safety first slogan has to be applied in all respects. Safety is a responsibility of one and everyone. Now I will jump on to buildings practice. Plants, facilities, petrochemicals. It's old writing. Now, objective of this work is to press into engineering reader such information about practical professional aspects regarding engineering management or organization involvement within oil and energy industrial facilities, promotion, which is called greenfield and brownfield projects, both greenfield and brownfield. I'm sorry, this is a mistake here. These industries produce various types of gases in condensed form for transportation through pipelines network for further supply to real consumer or end user, and also various petrochemical products as well as many byproducts are delivered. All disciplinary building work engineers in industry, all disciplinary budding working engineers in industry, and particularly in execution field shall be benefited by information being provided. Contents have been extracted from practical experience earned in field, being observed that experiences to experiences attained are usually not recorded on documents for benefit of incoming young engineers to learn from seniors' experience, resulting adversely when budding engineers depend solely on individuals' exclusive learning in field based on university educational training knowledge, which is not virtually adequate for fast track project, casual or progress delivery achievement. Therefore, to fulfill requirement to extend all such knowledge require resources to incoming new engineers. This small work is presented to help those who intend to know in advance about an overall perspective of building new facilities. It's called greenfield or extending existing one, that's called brownfield, to further development. Information has been given in text form with chapters, while certain sketches added on end chapters. No photos could be incorporated for under obligations of contracts. Such information should not be revealed for a definite number of years from contract commencement day to maintain secrecy under secrecy conduct clause of various contracts. This work may not provide with in-depth specialized subjective knowledge, but definitely illumine with an idea how various engineering procedures move in field, which knowledge cannot be drawn from university curriculum. This resource might prove beneficial to those candidates aspiring to become certified professional engineers within purview of past EMF, Engineers Mobility Forum, or now IPEA, International Professional Engineers Agreement, with Bharat India represented by Institution of Engineers India. Contents of book are very boring because it's technical but practical in working nature. All contents vary in nature, including various usual procedures applied on EPC nature of contracts involving in general varying types of industrial jobs carried out in industry applications. Also included certain statements and reporting procedures as well as contract matters generally adopted. Many chapters pertaining to real project management organization have been included, but its effects are required to be implemented in field. Issues regarding engineering organization, management, prosecution, planning and controls, contracts, etc. have been included. Around 80 drawing sketches have been included for elaboration, which are self-exhibiting and expressing. Self-expressing. Certain photos pertinent to practical case have also been included to demonstrate to some extent green use of building. It's though uncommon among engineers to keep used to doing this type of work, but still practically it's necessary. It has been an attempt to include all best collections from practical experience, covering generally all executive topics for extending assistance to fellow engineers. Construction projects have been required since times immemorial, as more than 50% budget in all economies or nations is covered on development works, which involves construction projects pertinent to all types requirements. Engineers from all disciplines work on developing such projects. Millions of workers contribute to such development schemes, projects all around globe. Engineering has been very significant professional world to successfully deliver all such projects. In fact, generally, not all but some technician engineers, site engineers, project engineers, and even many project organizers, managers are not well experienced to understand line management respecting hundreds of construction activities that require to be performed on projects. All they might be knowing construction prosecution works in physical respects, but communication of activities and respective field management organization must be available on documents in order to avoid incorrect work, which can lead to doing either reworks or remedial works when correct methods are not followed on site. It's significant for site organizers to clearly instruct frontline management crew to carry out works or schedule activities to set a defined order, standard on site, and not to do on their own plans whatever they probably think is suitable. Project management organization require engineering knowledge. Organizations require engineering knowledge, technicalities, experience, conceptual requirements on site, and what's intended to be planned and very affected on project. Management requires concentration from all aspects, which they generally do not expect from all those who remain busy 14 hours a day on construction activities sites to focus on technical documentations for submission and approval. According to quality system, work cannot be allowed to be prosecuted on project sites until relevant documents have been approved. Now it's my interest, okay, leave it, I don't want to infer this. Purpose of this work is to assist those aspiring professional engineers who are unable currently to refer to certain practical field books due to non-availability. It's my interest to produce certain works that may help engineers for CPD achievement or support. CPD stands for Continuous Professional Development Support. Well, I think that this work should impart physical knowledge to reader. no text no text areas available, what that provides comprehensive information about projects, prosecution strategies. It's always problematic for engineers to refer to all such documents. Result that lack of information leads to drop from organization management levels. Hope that you may find this small presentation interesting and useful. Now there's a, you can say, chapter wise detail here. Titles, there are about, I think, in the chapters, let us see, there are 33 chapters, 34 chapters, and their sketches accordingly. You may take some time to go through these chapters. It's a very important one. In this case, it's chapter 1, General Industrial Development, Processing, Facility, Formation, Policy, Decision. Chapter 2, Project Design, Contract Award and Miscellaneous. Chapter 3 is Engineering. 4 is Concrete Durability, Supplementary Cementing Materials, etc. 5 is Construction and Controls. 6 is Project Management or Organization Facility. 7 is Detailed Engineering Requirements. 8 is Building Designs Concept. 9 is Procurement, and 10 is Construction. 11 Quality Assurance Requirements. 12 is Execution Plan, Project Implementation. 13 is Environmental Clauses for Plant Industrial City in Construction Contracts. 14 is Environment Controls Waste Disposal. 15 is Pre-Commissioning. 16 is Testing and Commissioning. 17 is Construction Project Organization Management and Overview. 18 is Hospital Project Progress Case Study, just a case study. 19 is Organizational Manual Standard System. 20 is Front-End Engineering Designs. 21 is Procedures, Manuals, Coordination. And then 22 is Project Execution Method. Some cycle power station. See, same thing is Project Plan, just for some project. Then Contraction, Termination Notice, so contractual issues. Contraction, Termination Notice, another one. Contract Novation Agreement, then General Contract Provisions, Guidelines, General Conditions of Contract, Form used in past, Commercial Subcontracts, Useful References, Procurement Controls, Procurement Budget, Procurement Control, Excel Workbook, and Changing Site, Changing Cities, Building Opportunities, Sketches. There are sketches about, you can see various sketches in this range. About, I think, 77 sketches in this range. Meanwhile, you can go through these sketches. Will go from required as not required. The important sketches for everybody, understand them. I talk on this, then this is one essay. Before that, I'll open another file, and also so that let me go to other file in this case before going further. Let me open this file. that is my directory here. I just open that file which I am going to discuss. I import a file. Say other file is general facilities petrochemicals. So just a few minutes back soon, I can go through this. Okay, gentlemen, sorry. I'm back. I'm just seeing titles of this, maybe. Probably you might have seen titles of this, and you have seen all this soil. Now, as this is all there. Let me close this better, or keep open as it is now. This is general facilities. So I'll close this chapter better. I'll open otherwise, Then EQ management also. I'm closing now. So what says here? It says here, you just browse this file, you'll find what it contains first. Let's see. Facilities requirement, facility justification, feasibility justification, and feasibility. This is, and then we have components, elements of certain processing facility. Then we have, of course, here. This is typical only sample. LNG tanks components briefs are LNG tanks, compressors, cracking gas furnaces, other structures, seawater basin, many other stationary, some chambers, open dishes, piping, fiber reinforced plastic pipes. Then we have details of these, and pipe racks, heat tracing, pipe supports, sleepers, anchor sleepers, and access platforms, RCC box culverts, receiving basin, flare towers, pump houses. And we have general components for other facilities, train, string, common processing unit, reliability and availability. And we have design basis, objectives, and design life and experience, list of codes and specifications, which is of course not maybe now legal, equipment standardization, noise, instrumentation controls, equipment is covered, equipment selection, then it is some details, electrical overhead, traveling cranes, semi-portal cranes, other EOT cranes, mechanical plant, bar screen racking mechanism, mechanical plant bar screen racking mechanism, and design basis, mechanical equipment, mechanical plant stop locks, rotating drum screens, vessels and storage tanks, emergency diesel generator set, spare part shop testing, building services, electrical supply, fire suppression, cathodic protection, cooling towers, and that's what it is, you can say, in controls. Now we have this here. I like to take time on this, in industrial development, processing facility formation, what actually this should be, what we should understand this is all about. Now, an industrial development, processing facility formation. It is necessary in interest of economical development that industrial projects should be efficiently promoted, for industry, being backbone of a nation, keeps nation moving forward, improving quality of life. Sooner is industry created, better would be prospects for economy and nation. Therefore, value engineering should be efficiently applied to product proposed to be facilitated to enable consumer be delivered with most economic and qualitative products. When we talk of industrial development, we target to achieve potential industries for long-term production of intended products that may cost in billions of dollars, many billions of dollars. Its concept, front-end engineering design or front-end design, execution would certainly quantify to considerable cost and time. All types of major industries require development in line to meet public or economic requirement of nation of internations. What class of industry should be promoted for modernization depends on various relevant criteria as well as development value engineering. Oil and gas, power, water resources, nuclear energy and many other infrastructures do require promotion not only for an exclusive sake of a commercial business but also for sake of social, economical development and sustainability expression. I try to include various procedures or steps in common that are required to promote onshore downstream petrochemical facilities, which is meant for meeting national and international requirements of natural products. It should be kept in view that promotion of certain potential industrial unit is a national planning job which must be based on thorough feasibility studies and research, operational research relevant to many years. Since promotion of such development affects to some extent utilization of natural resources available in earth, store that should not be blindly explored, but a balance must be maintained for future generation to come, which we call sustainability. It makes adopted decision must be based on certain criteria that available resources may not be exhausted at fast pace by current generation to affirmatively maintain sustainability. Explorations must not be solely destined to just making money out of natural resources. Policy decision, authorization, technology promotion. Government should promptly work out relevant policy in a positive manner. For time is extremely important factor that should be used properly to get optimum use of project. Provided adequate funds are available within allocation of budget or institutional financial borrowing should be made. Value engineering should be properly studied by experts to reach a conclusion that proposed product shall be processed imparting no adverse impact to existing environment, should be most economical in production cost and shall be easy to be transported to consumer market or end user facility, shall be most beneficial to national society from every aspect, view of cost and economy uplift, as well as shall promote green technology and provide benefits to all people globally in long run. A right charter must be constituted at very initial stage of conception for a permanent reference, including various information such as aim, target, policy, political impacts on area and nation, rehabilitation and other bad effects, requirement of additional infrastructures, generation of employment opportunities in both stages of promotion of projects as well as its operation and maintenance, technology, stakeholders, current value, earned value, long run value, continuous benefits, expected risks of all sorts, whether or not other alternative products could be promoted to achieve better value engineering. Sustainability development means state of art technology that has been developed for application on projects, which technology does not go against existing requirements and neither impacts adversely on availability of natural resources. When future generation requires all such sources. This means that both current and future generations should enjoy availability of all natural resources as well as friendship with green technologies without compromising with positive effects of nature. Value engineering shall play a significant role to many extents when use of technologies promotions is concerned. There could be options as far as technologies are concerned. There could be options as far as technologies are concerned. Which options, based on considerable factors and various aspects, would decide which application, which technological application shall deliver better results on proceeds of product in long term as well as short term. Short term facts could be considered of land, design considerations, construction cost, product environment friendly impacts, transportation cost, availability of experts and artisans, etc. While long term considerations would be maintenance cost, life of projects of facility, safety risks involved, public risks involved, future availability of alternate, easy and economical technologies that be currently under research stage. Facility requirement. Value engineering effective application, effective technology, product and user requirement, necessity, approval and financing, international competition, cost effectiveness, safety, health and environment, tenability, sustainability. This is facility requirement of going. Before that we studied this basics requirement of these projects, which we can say that about policy decision and about all this. We know by this noting or by this given statement, which is written one and of course spoken. This is of course clear that development is a must. We cannot deny this fact. In whatever country we are in, wherever we are in the world, development is an integrated part of life now. Use of natural resources very much part of life. Use of human resources very much useful. When we think of some facility because of requirement, because of time, because we want to advance ourselves in engineering sciences, that is okay, fine. But everybody cannot invest, which therefore government must invest, because we have educated people and industrialization is a must, but it should not be focused on to some people. It should be focused on national issues, national environment. When something we can think of good for all people, then it should be all people. It's not simply a few group of people and they pull all money from people through whatever means. We should not forget that. It's property of everybody, resources within this earth and the skies in our environmental area. Facility means industry. Facility means it facilitates production of known chemicals or non chemicals. That is very important. Facility takes too much time for building, for being produced. If we want to do better facility for our future use, we have to think a lot. It's not simply what we think is right. We have to meet all kinds of experts and decide policies. I'm not talking about something that's not done. I'm talking of something that has been missed. Value engineering is a very important part of life. If you have to value engineer, you have to work accordingly. And I think for a state, for a nation, addition of industries, improvement of industries indicates about strength of that country, change it can adopt. But if changes are not good, there is no meaning of standard community. If you want to promote your country, you have to think of industrialization, which had been missed along at length. When we were liberated in 1947, we did not have infrastructure for industrialization. Then we moved forward. Industrial Commission had indicated that lot to be done, and that Industrial Commission suggested that industrialization is a must. There was equivalent to zero industries when we got independence. But later on, you can see now, when 6-7 decades have passed, we have a lot of production. We have, of course, quality is not a standard one there. I can't say quality is not being considered by people. Just they are writing on papers, advert oriented. It's a matter of great shame on every one of us. If we don't have, we have to freshly pour. Okay, come on, poor quality and we'll inspect. I don't know what poor quality. Now, value engineering, effective application, effective technology, product and user requirement necessity, approval and financing, international competition, cost, effectiveness, safety, health and environment, tenability, sustainability, all these count towards value requirement, facility requirement. Should these points be met by proposal, project may be given a go-ahead subject to meeting other criteria, because these points are effective application. Effective means must produce something. Effective technology, it should be environment pro. Product and user requirement must meet those requirements which consumer expects. Its necessity is required. Approval and financing. You must have approval and financing, otherwise you can't move project. It may be in government hands or in private hands. And that point is very important. With no funding, nothing can be done. Or you have to hire from international institutions to your development. And it is done. IMF, World Health, there are so many institutions that help in industrialization, so that processing is done, and of course employment is created, and nation moves forward in that product. Well, I say competition national or international doesn't make a difference, because now people are educated to minimum level. There are people who are very educated to maximum level. So we have to take into our consideration cost effect, safety effect, health effect, and environment effect, sustainability effect. All this must be considered while you are contemplating for a project, industrial project, oil based or otherwise. If these points be met, proposal project may be given a go ahead, subject to meeting other criteria. Should these points be met by proposal, project may be given a go ahead once value engineering factor has been included into plan consideration with full integrity and incorporation of provisions in line with national and international policy. For such evolutionary developments, there remains no meaning to delay projects, but projects initiation by charter authorization by respective stakeholders should be done. Finances have to be allocated to statutory requirements to give a go-ahead to various phases or stages of project development, so that delivery be made in defined time, set time for follow-up operations for consumers or end users. Since facilities demand incorporation of inputs from various disciplines, personal, materials and equipment with licensed technology, every criteria must be kept in consideration for a final startup. Facility justification and feasibility. Facility justification and feasibility. Environmental sustainability. Environmental sustainability, cost, viability in long run. First is environmental sustainability, then cost, viability in long run, long term. Nationally beneficial to add to economic growth for all people, multi-purpose approach and creation of employment, casual as well as regular. So what it says, environmental sustainability must be checked. That is technology environment free. It's not going to work against nature. Cost viability in long run, which must be scrutinized, which must be calculated. Otherwise, if cost viability doesn't exist, there is no meaning of furthering that project. Nationally beneficial to everyone or to add to economic growth. It should be, because that facility, once completed, completely constructed and commissioned, becomes national asset. And national asset means that asset should be beneficial to economy. Multi-purpose approach. Of course, this is multi-purpose project. Like dam used to say is multi-purpose project. Now industries are also can be named multi-purpose projects. Multi-purpose approach and creation of employment. Of course, when you advance in industries, those people, they give time, very little time to rest. Those people must understand this. Multiple approach and creation of employment, casual as well as regular. This facility must export potential of product. Means your product should be sellable, should be exported if it is having enough quantity after your own country is fulfilled. It's after your own people are given this product, then export potential is advancement, you can say. Processing technology and availability of raw or natural resources materials. Processing technology and availability of raw or natural resources materials. Adequacy of availability of terrain and resources. Routes, terrains and routes. Selection of planning and execution mode. Selection of planning and execution mode. Selection of planning and execution mode. Availability of expertise and experts along with all other interrelated professionals. Availability of all human and all other resources, their original resources, international agreements for bilateral trades with production, with producing nation, finalization of design rights, copyright, process technology, license, agreement on various contract forms, adoption, agreement on international workforce, migration for projects. Public-private partnership, public-private participation, or government responsibility of or international joint ventures. Availability of relevant trade zones based on subsidy for industrial promotion in general. Public interest for long-term construction and operation. Certainty of return by reliable proceeds after a defined set of years, or an assessed duration after which investment is made an asset for remaining life of plant facility. Let us see once again what is justification of facility. These are certain points that indicate only, but not at these are not details. These are technical points. Environmental sustainability. Environmental sustainability is a very big issue these days, and you can see high-level meetings in Vienna and other countries. Those who are those. So this is very serious matter for justification because facilities are not investment in few thousands or crores. It's very expensive because land value is too high. So justification of law eminent. We have to take into this consideration real effects of industrialization on the economy. Export potential of product, processing technology and availability of raw material, natural resources, materials, adequacy of adequacy of availability of certain of terrain routes, selection of planning and execution sources, routes, selection of planning and execution mode, availability of expertise and experts along with all other interrelated professionals, availability of all human and all other resources, and you can say their original sources, international agreements by bilateral trades with production, national and national is international. Let's see all this. Very important one. Now, availability, you can say components, elements of certain processing facility, inclusions and general. Availability of natural gas or oil fields, where from where natural resources are being tapped out from offshore locations of various seabeds, founded rigging platforms allowing risers leading pipes to upstream onshore slug tanks. Availability of natural gas or oil fields, from where natural resources are being tapped out from offshore locations of various sea beds, founded rigging platforms allowing risers leading pipes to stream onshore slug tanks. Availability of all well-equipped facilities of shipping platforms, injections and risers for raw oil delivery from seabed. Availability of land for required downstream processing, area onshore with acceptable terrain that may be used for operating complete chemical process engineering, applications used on well-designed trains as well as transportation of processed products or byproducts to specifically located outlets leading to consumers' locations. Plant processing scheme and technology both for greenfield and brownfield, supported with authorization by legal license valid for defined period. Liquefied natural gas tanks made of cryogenic steel, RCC, PSC containments with spillage and other components, etc. for storage purpose at considerable minus temperature. Plant processing trains elements complete with detailed description of heavy and light industrial equipment. Utilities areas element for integration with plant equipment. Off-sites elements for sub-assistance to aforesaid. Intake piping system arrangements for circulation and delivery into plant equipment for cooling process or application. Seawater basin for storage of seawater to be used for cooling purpose during various processes. Delivery of cooling water to plant and then recirculation of further cycle of processing cooling. Piping, pipe support, pipe sleepers and pipe racks for product transportation and relevant handling operation activities. Service air and instrument air circulation piping. Service air and instrument air circulation piping. Chlorination plant with complete systems package for purpose of chlorinating water for supplies to plant use. Storage and warehousing for physical handling of subsidiaries. Drainage infrastructure from plant. Drainage infrastructure from plant to receiving basin and then to outfall structure through discharge channels duly provided with metal lugs and channels. Ditches completely lined to convey out to final discharge. Storm water from various catchments area of plant. Complete package drainage system for oily water, acid water, dusty water, sewage, etc. that comprises of hundreds RCC manholes, many kilometers of pipeline connections with such manholes and chambers, leading and disposing to sewage treatment plants, STBs, etc. Water line for whole site for various purposes, including loss prevention, that is fire suppression, firefighting with fresh water, as well as with back of seawater supply from seawater reservoir or elsewhere. Cooling water line provisions throughout whole industrial area zone, taking in water from intake at sea, supplying to industries, and then through return headers discharging to sea directly after being supplied once, as well as employing cooling water system technology to recirculate used water while only make up water to be supplied. Pipe supports, pipe anchors, general anchors, big anchors, thrust blocks at various spacing. Pipe supports to be connected to sleepers and direct supports using structural steel connections for both direct clamping as well as achieving sliding action to make up for expansion, which supports are often considerably heavy units for considerable size pipe. Electrical heat tracing provisions for piping system carrying minus temperature liquid or gas to keep pipe on required temperature, not allowing freezing of material. For example, sulfur gas can freeze within pipeline. Heat tracing works dedicatedly encompassing pipes, transferring thermal energy to pipe and then to internal minus temperature gas, so that gas does not freeze in pipe but keeps on flowing at a specified temperature and velocity. Administration as well as amenities buildings, elements for facilitating operation and maintenance, as well as consumer supply receipt station that should contain various offices with access control. Electrical main station, substations, switch gears, package substations, pump houses, guard houses, visitors areas, ring main units, transformers, heavy duty armored cables, centralized control to all such supporting on-site or off-site buildings, or electrical distribution system and security system. Central control as well as operations, building to control whole plant's operations from one single location, monitoring all engineering disciplines, plant surveillance 24 hours, 7 days a week. Consumer receipt station to be used by consumer delivery control, intake pump houses and other processing pump houses at various locations duly integrated for controls all over plant facilities. Water retaining structures such as below ground sumps, receiving basins, drainage channels, outfall discharge to sea. Site security arrangements, fencing, surveillance by installation of CCTV with state-of-art technology, site telecommunications of all sorts for efficient use by operating personnel available in all security zones spread over entire facility. All loss prevention arrangements including internal and external firefighting, all arrangements to cater for fire emergency, blast emergency or seismic emergency. Fire tender station is significant to cater for this facility. Adequacy of plant and non-plant area of roads and paving, maintenance tracks, road crossings, utility crossings, road culverts, pipe culverts, transit manholes, control defensive traffic movement and circulation, etc. Soil erosion protection for all machines and equipment so that all those equipments should not damage due to possible negative impact by heavy dust laden storms. Facility byproducts, plants as extensions and all required elements for that. All related civil engineering disciplinary structures for buildings, sheds, equipment, vessels as well as other processing and non-processing equipment. Vessels such as cracking furnace, wash water structures, cracked gas compressors, propane compressors, ethane compressors, boilers, auxiliary boilers, various types of spheres, steel tanks, fuel towers, rotary equipment, reciprocating equipment, etc. shall be made part of plant with necessary foundations for these elements or components to be constructed in line according to defined requirements. Massive concrete blocks shall be required for many such major foundations to feed for heavy vessels. Civil engineering foundations structural requirement shall vary from a simple machine length to independent footings to combined footings to strip footings to raft and piles as well as massive block foundation. Concrete shall generally be low heat producing cement waste manufactured by using microsilica or GGBS as ground granulated blast furnace slag replacement up to 70% extent and also pulverized fly ash PFA replacement. Supporting bases of pipe racks may be allowed either by steel structure or structural steel or RCC construction. Foundations of pipe racks shall generally be of RCC basis. Independent footings, overhead crossings shall be required at many locations for various en route piping to jump over existing plant circulation roads. Such overhead crossings could be constructed using structural steel. Cathodic protection, both critical and non-critical requirements for centralized corrosion control of plant reinforcement from a central control sacrificial anode station shall also be provided for long-term corrosion monitoring and controls respecting reinforcing bars. Earthing provisions for all individual structures, equipment as well as network. Colored, that is green or red, etc. Covered cable trenches, RCC vault buried directly to ground or cable ducts shall also be included in design forming a major part of certain facility. These ducts shall be coordinated to various interface crossing requiring site resolutions to protect plant supporting services interface clashes. Heavy duty concrete pavement shall be provided in all plant areas for required purpose. Of its maintenance, respecting machines as well as movement of heavy vehicles on other areas where no pavement is included, stone aggregate shall be spread and compacted to avoid soil adverse impact effect on all vessels or equipment. In addition, all important administration areas shall be allowed to an attractive soft and hard landscape architectural provisions. Access security arrangement shall also be made with automatic controls using card readers or fingerprints, scanning, etc. Installation of CCTV for continuous control and records or SCADA at supervisory control and data acquisition system. Inclusion of flat tower and radio masts is also contemplated. Just trying to find some file if possible I can do. If it's possible I will find that one just for revision, for a backup I can say. Like I could find that maybe. Let me see if I can find that. It's see, I say, if you take like this in this project, you can see how it seen on plant, on facility. You see heights are quite considerable. You can see this height. You can see this height here, and quite high. Maybe like height of high-rise multi-story. It's generally very complicated if you go through this. It looks very amazing. At night seen, in day is different, but at night time you see thousands of illumination light, high lux are available. This is, you can say, a cracking furnace view. Cracking furnace view, as I said. You see, this is a technological work. So much piping, so much structure. And you can see this key plan of facility, which is at sea itself. Intake, and then you go down, you'll find this. Intake is administration area, its process area, its seawater basin area. Again, this is further explosion of that the admin warehouse. facilities, this process, this electric station, this is flare tower, called flare tower. Then landscape shown around buildings, and then you can see this one area called administration warehouse. Also this is pipe racks shown. You can see these pipe racks. And this is process area. Here is process area. Big one. This is process area. All here. You can see this area included. Seawater basin here. Seawater basin is blown up. Pipes coming from seawater basin, big one, normally 90 meter by 100 meters or 80 by 100 meters, maybe. Then electrical station and roads. This is electrical station here. This is LNG tanks. This Qatar gas project Rastafan, taken from Google. Electronic record center. This is Qatar electronics record center. And this is Qatar. This firing range. This is of course Qatar. And then you can see this is squadron offices, Qatar quarters. I was trying to show you army training camp. This is one building in Baghdad, Iraq. And this is the building, press building here. You can see this. This is tower portion of that building. This is a building here. This is lower tower. This is higher tower. And this is a lift area and stair. Purpose of this was to show you about I explained here for that purpose. Now this we explained about what we should have, what we should not have. All these are, these are elements, these are components on plants. It's not necessary that whatever I try describing here must be on every plant. Depends upon that plants, but these are generally found. So as you can consider, natural gas must be available. Oil field must be available. From where natural resources are can be tapped, or from offshore locations. Then we should have availability of all well-equipped facility of shipment. So like that, we know what is required, what's not required is given here. This. Now LNG tanks, we talk of this also components brief is this. These components are meant to store liquefied natural gas. This quantity is size is 80,000 cubic meter capacity. 80,000 capacity each. within steel tank. You can see 80,000 cubic meter capacity. RCC with pre-stress arrangement for cables structures. RCC that's containment with free stress pre-stress arrangement for cable structures of about 80 meter diameter, 800 mm thick wall, as well as height of 50 meter. This was included for spillage prevention. Each tank base was allowed soil improvement, including many meters depth of granular fill in layers not exceeding 200 mm thick. RCC raft foundation was laid on improved fill, pre-engineered formation after ensuring required design safe bearing capacity. Top of tank was covered with a permanent formed cupola structure raised to level by compressed air pressure lifting. Cryogenic steel was included to maintain about minus 60 degree Celsius temperature of condensed gas. Concrete of circular walls was poured using quick form proprietary custom designed formwork in 5-meter lifts each. A cantilever operational platform was constructed on cupola. An on-site designed plumbing system was erected temporarily for curing activity throughout on full height of tank to cover all vertical areas for curing. Each LNG tank was provided with RCC splage tank below ground tank externally. This was LNG tank. There is also on this, you can say, cupola projected with cantilever, and there were also much done on this. This is just brief giving. So much was cost in this. It's not so simple. It's very time consuming work. Let's go for compressors for some time. Compressors are to be installed as part of various processing trains for ethylene production unit, being heavy reciprocating machines to be installed on massive foundations at elevated level. Tabletops would be constructed resting on massive concrete foundations. Foundation concrete for one compressor being 400 cubic meter, about 25 meter long, 12 meter wide, as well as 2 meters deep, well designed machine foundation for a reciprocating vibratory equipment. This foundation carries thick columns above supports tabletop. Steel plated inserts between equipment and epoxy grout. Tabletops are constructed of thick framed slabs resting on thick columns, grand arrangements of tabletop slabs are complicated in all respects regarding civil as well as mechanical inserts. Such types of thick and massive elements require a special type of cement, probably with high GGBS replacement, which could also be pulverized fly ash or microsilica. Particular arrangements are worked out for curing solutions for such low heat generating cements to effect thermal curing methods utilizing no direct contact with curing water. Purpose is again same, we say quality everywhere, and this is plus on both hands, means we have to add to value of quality on both ends, start and end. There is no stop definition in that. Quality everywhere, it should be, we can't do without that. Systems quality is one consideration, individual quality another consideration, and element quality and others factors, all others whatsoever. Without system quality, nothing can move. Without individual quality, system cannot move. And without what element we want, what quality we want on that element or product, that's another point. This combination of system, individual and requirements of product. Then we go to, can say, designs, which has to work everywhere in all stages, not only in structures, in all stages. And construction, of course, without constructions, design has no meaning, and without design, construction has no meaning. Both are complementary to each other. If something is designed, it can be validated only when it is constructed and it performs. And construction, performance of both jointly tell what design was. Means ratification of design in practical life. This is that design was fine, it worked, it was not just imagination, but functional, rational. Whatever activities are included in construction, we know that there is no single activity. There are numerous activities in construction that we have to understand. Hundreds and hundreds activities, maybe more in construction if you go into details. And there should be some design part behind every activity. There should be. Every one activity must relate to some you can say, to some arrangement, what we call practical arrangement. Practical arrangement, or else we should not move forward, because without description through method statement, we can move rightly or wrongly, we can move in wrong direction, because everybody has different experience, everyone, and that should not happen. Whatever we do, we should not forget that involves cost, it involves time, it involves energy, it involves input. So whatever work we do in construction, that must come back as returns or product. Why should my activity go waste? And to affect it, it's always better, because we work in groups, not alone, and in groups there are chances that loss coefficient or waste coefficient rises. And if something is written in title of method statement pertinent to that activity, communication must be on that, communication must work on that, so that everybody, or particularly those people who are part of supervising crew, they should know what we have to do together, and they must do that only what is required. And if we think that during that implication, during that implementation, something more to be added, or something is deficient, or something is redundant, redundancy should go and deficiency should be built in. Deficiency should be picked in, inserted, and that one by one that method statement can become professional document for reference, or for, you can say, new technical knowledge, because ultimately it's technical knowledge that is written on statements. We don't do scientific work there, but collection of responsibilities, collection of actions, collection of activities in sequence are described on that, which includes safety description, which includes documents description, which includes, you can say, materials related issues, all in that margin of sales, margin of whatever it is, are kept in view. So method statement and based on which performance are very important. Performance means time issue, cost issue, quality issue. We have to keep it unchangeable, or we can change for better. Cost can be reduced or cost can be wasted. This is in the hands of those who are responsible. Cost can be variable. There can be escalation. Depends on risks which can be foreseen. Reliability factor works, and we call now reliability plus, must be achieved, or else there is no meaning of what we do. Reliability defines itself safety plus serviceability plus durability plus other knowledge areas, factors, and all is done based on analysis and synthesis activities. A must, all problems to be understood, and all is called, all solutions network must reach compatibility level, and it is called thinking and thinking and only way. Thinking and thinking and only way. Another name of engineering is thinking, and then is contemplation, and we call attend engineering. Engineering which is generated, engineering which is understood, engineering which is devised in mind and applied on papers, engineering which is innovated, engineering which is to be learned based on whatever you have already learned. Learning is limitless, learning has no limit. We always say when you do something, you have to define at end during that work what did we learn. We learn by technology, or we learn by mistakes, or we learn by understanding new technologies. That's what learning is, and that learning helps all projects to help. That learning is received by young generation can change entire country system. Not easy to say always. Not easy to say always, but it is a fact that quality compromise is not permittable. We can't permit quality compromise. There is no way. If we compromise quality as we do, that's unfortunate that we have made ourselves a hell of quality. We have spoiled quality, its standard. We talk a lot, explain very little, and in fact, do nothing. Therefore, it's very important part that we cannot ignore, we should not ignore. Quality is of utmost importance in all walks of lives, and in particularly in engineering world, because engineering world means long duration product, not consumables. Product that can work for you, that can serve you for years to come or for decades. Quality, if condemned, if not valued, your designs are not valued, and construction is valued, and method statements no meaning, performance no meaning. So it's complete waste of time, waste of cost, and waste of everything. That's a very important point. We speak about this, we speak about that. We have to speak about everything. I won't say risk. I won't say don't rely. Rely. Rely if you have confidence, if you have gone through the system, you achieved successful application of your quality system, you think your product is pro quality, no problem, it can be done. It's very important one. Being engineer, you have no right to say that I don't work with quality. You can't say that, because another name of engineering is quality. If quality is not achieved, engineering is a delusion. Engineering is a delusion, it's fake. Engineering means you have to attain what is defined for. It's not simply doing engineering. It's simply that you have to become quality pro. That's very important. No way out. No way out. And if you can't do that, stop calling professional. Stop calling engineers, because when you are a member of civil, electrical, mechanical world, in these three civils, the role of engineer, as I said, is very different at every point. It depends on your title also. or whatever title do you have, it clearly tells that you are engineer somewhere, or you are drawing engineer benefit by learning. Quality, if separated from quantity, both are rubbish. Neither quantity nor quality shall pay you anything, and it shall be rejected. When I say this is quality product, this means something. This means it must be. I can't state lie, I can't state fake statements when your mind is not in the control. Well, system has to move, engineer has to work. There is no way you can jump. Engineering is very systematic, but engineers are not. That's the problem. Just having academical degrees won't solve any problem. Yes, you must have degrees, all degrees, but you should not value them highest. Until you do projects, you deliver projects, your degree has no meaning. You can't fulfill all our years. Don't lead yourself into wrong direction. You have to lead yourself in right direction, and that is quality direction. And quality means quantity, quality means procedures, quality means definitions of specifications, quality means expectation from products and projects. Projects is also called product. Once project is over, it's operational mechanism that works. So we have to understand ourselves in a better way, in a way that stands with us, that way works with us all time. It's to time now. I would like to take leave from this talk with hope that we will take next talk in this same title. Many talks have been conducted in this title. There's no end to talks. Whatever small or limited substance I have to share with all. I know that this is very boring talk of engineering. People don't like this. People want to show photographs and just say, look at this, what is required. Look at this, what's not required. In that way, it doesn't work. Now, I'd like to take your leave in this talk. Thank you very much, gentlemen. See you again.